Every morning presents us with a choice, a quiet yet powerful moment that often passes unnoticed. It is in these early hours that we set the tone for the entire day, determining whether we will approach life with purpose or drift through it passively. When we begin our mornings intentionally, we are not just starting another day. We are laying the foundation for how we respond to challenges, how we interact with others, and how we fulfill the potential God has placed within us. The first step toward this intentional living is to embrace a morning practice rooted in reflection, prayer, and mindfulness. Psalm 46 reminds us that God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in times of trouble. This scripture is not merely a verse to recite. It is an invitation to anchor ourselves in something unwavering and eternal, a reminder that each day we face is infused with divine purpose and protection. By beginning our day with this mindset, we create a mental and spiritual environment in which we are resilient, focused, and ready to meet life's demands. Starting the day with purpose requires conscious effort. It is not enough to wake up and move through the motions. We must actively choose to dedicate the first moments of our day to reflection and intention. When we take time to pause, to breathe deeply, and to meditate on God's words, we are setting a precedent for how we will navigate the hours ahead. This deliberate act of grounding ourselves is transformative, because it shifts our perspective from reacting to circumstances to responding with clarity and composure. Psalm 46 teaches us that even when the earth shakes, mountains crumble, or waters roar, we have a stronghold in God. By internalizing this truth during our morning prayer, we equip ourselves to remain steady amidst chaos. This is not just spiritual encouragement. It is a practical lesson in emotional resilience and mental preparation. The act of starting the day with purpose also influences our productivity and decision-making. When we approach the morning with intention, we are more likely to prioritize what truly matters, aligning our actions with our long-term goals and values. Reflecting on Psalm 46, we are reminded that our strength is renewed and that we are never alone in our endeavors. This reassurance fosters confidence and focus, allowing us to tackle our tasks with energy and clarity rather than distraction and stress. The simple practice of dedicating even 10 minutes each morning to prayer or meditation can recalibrate our minds, enabling us to approach challenges with calmness and resolve. In essence, starting the day with purpose is an educational exercise for the mind and spirit, teaching discipline, patience, and awareness that reverberates throughout all aspects of our lives. Moreover, beginning the day with intentionality nurtures a sense of gratitude. When we consciously reflect on God's presence in our lives, we recognize the countless blessings often overlooked in the rush of daily routines. Psalm 46 speaks to the reassurance of divine protection, reminding us that there is a constant source of support available to us. A morning practice of prayer and reflection allows us to acknowledge these blessings, cultivating an attitude of gratitude that colors the rest of the day. Gratitude, in turn, enhances our mental and emotional well-being, reducing stress and increasing our capacity for empathy and kindness. By starting the day with recognition of God's guidance and the good in our lives, we equip ourselves to face adversity with a positive, hopeful mindset, turning obstacles into opportunities for growth and learning. Another crucial element of starting the day with purpose is the development of self-awareness. In the quiet of the morning, when distractions are minimal, we have the opportunity to tune in to our inner selves, to understand our goals, fears, and desires more deeply. Morning prayer with Psalm 46 acts as a mirror for the soul, allowing us to identify areas of strength and areas in need of support. This self-awareness is vital for personal development because it empowers us to make intentional choices throughout the day rather than drifting aimlessly. When we know what we value and what we aim to achieve, we can navigate our day with clarity, making decisions that align with our spiritual and personal aspirations. In this way, starting the day with purpose is not only a spiritual discipline, but also a profoundly practical tool for shaping the trajectory of our lives. Finally, the practice of beginning the day with intention fosters a sense of resilience and courage. Life is unpredictable, filled with challenges that can overwhelm even the most capable individuals. Yet, when we anchor ourselves in God's Word each morning, we are reminded that we have a steadfast source of strength and protection. Psalm 46 encourages us to trust in this divine support, teaching that no matter how turbulent the world becomes, we are never without guidance or refuge. This mindset cultivates courage, empowering us to face difficulties with a calm and steadfast spirit. By consciously starting each day with purpose, we internalize a powerful truth that we are capable, protected, and equipped to handle whatever comes our way. This confidence is not boastful, but rooted in faith and intentionality, a quiet strength that grows as we make morning prayer a consistent practice. In conclusion, starting the day with purpose is far more than a simple routine. It is a transformative practice that sets the tone for every moment that follows. Through morning prayer, reflection, and meditation on Psalm 46, we anchor ourselves in strength, protection, and clarity. We cultivate resilience, focus, gratitude, self-awareness, and courage, equipping ourselves to face the day with intention rather than mere reaction. Each morning becomes an opportunity to reaffirm our values, align our actions with our goals, and draw upon a source of strength that is constant and unwavering. By embracing the power of purpose at the start of each day, we are not only preparing ourselves to navigate challenges, but also creating a life infused with meaning, peace, and fulfillment. Every morning is a new beginning, a fresh canvas, and through purposeful practice, we ensure that each day reflects the best of who we are meant to be. In life, everyone faces moments of uncertainty, fear, and weakness. It is in these times that the human spirit often seeks a source of strength greater than itself. Psalm 46 reminds us that God is our refuge and strength, a constant presence that never falters, no matter how overwhelming our circumstances may be. To truly find strength in God's presence is to recognize that we are never alone, that there is an ever-present source of guidance, comfort, and courage available to us at every stage of life. This awareness transforms the way we approach challenges, the way we view ourselves, and the way we interact with the world around us. By anchoring ourselves in God's presence, we cultivate resilience, inner peace, and the ability to rise above life's trials with confidence and grace. Finding strength in God's presence begins with acknowledgement. We must first recognize that our human strength, while valuable, is limited. There are situations that challenge our patience, test our endurance, and push us beyond what we believe we can handle. In these moments, Psalm 46 reassures us that God is our fortress and our refuge. This recognition is not a sign of weakness, rather, it is an act of wisdom and humility. Understanding that there is a higher power who stands with us in every difficulty allows us to release the pressure of trying to bear burdens alone. By consciously turning to God, we invite divine strength to flow through us, empowering us to face obstacles with courage and clarity. This act of surrender, far from diminishing our capabilities, enhances our resilience by combining our efforts with a source that is limitless and unchanging. The presence of God brings a profound sense of peace, even in the midst of chaos. Life is unpredictable, and challenges can appear suddenly, threatening to overwhelm us. Yet, when we cultivate an awareness of God's presence, we are able to approach difficulties with calmness rather than panic. Psalm 46 vividly illustrates this idea by reminding us that, even if the earth itself were to tremble, we have a secure refuge in God. This imagery is powerful because it teaches that external circumstances, no matter how severe, cannot diminish the strength we receive from a divine source. By internalizing this truth, we learn to anchor our minds and hearts in stability. This does not mean we ignore reality or avoid responsibility. It means that we approach life from a place of inner security, allowing us to respond thoughtfully and effectively to challenges rather than react impulsively out of fear or stress. Strength in God's presence also transforms the way we perceive ourselves and our capabilities. Many times, people underestimate their own resilience because they rely solely on their personal abilities or external support systems. When we recognize that God is with us, we begin to understand that our potential extends far beyond what we can see or measure. Psalm 46 reminds us that God is not only present in our moments of need, but actively works to empower us. This divine presence encourages us to step out of our comfort zones, take courageous actions, and trust in our capacity to overcome difficulties. It teaches that strength is not just about physical endurance or mental toughness. It is also about spiritual fortitude, faith, and the unwavering belief that we are supported in every endeavor. Another crucial aspect of finding strength in God's presence is the ability to persevere through adversity. Life often tests our limits, presenting obstacles that seem insurmountable. Yet, when we are anchored in God, we gain the endurance needed to persist through challenges. This strength is not superficial. It is deep and sustaining, arising from the assurance that we are held by a power greater than ourselves. Morning prayer, meditation, or moments of reflection on Psalm 46 allow us to connect with this enduring source of energy. By making this connection a daily practice, we reinforce our ability to persevere, knowing that no matter the intensity of the storm, we have the support and guidance to navigate it successfully. This mindset nurtures patience, courage, and confidence, which are essential qualities for personal growth and achievement. The presence of God also provides clarity and direction in moments of uncertainty. When we are confronted with decisions that carry weight or situations where the path forward is unclear, turning to God allows us to seek guidance and wisdom beyond our own understanding. Psalm 46 serves as a reminder that God's presence is constant, offering insight and reassurance that can help us make choices aligned with our higher purpose. This clarity not only strengthens our decision-making but also reduces anxiety and doubt, enabling us to act with conviction rather than hesitation. By finding strength in God's presence, we are not merely enduring life. We are actively engaging with it from a place of informed confidence, guided by spiritual wisdom that illuminates our path. Moreover, connecting with God's presence strengthens our relationships and our capacity to influence others positively. When we are rooted in divine strength, we are better equipped to offer support, compassion, and encouragement to those around us. Our own sense of stability and courage becomes a beacon for others, demonstrating that faith and trust in God can transform challenges into opportunities for growth. Psalm 46 encourages us to lean on this divine support, reminding us that our lives are interconnected and that the strength we receive can ripple outward, touching the lives of family, friends, and communities. By embracing God's presence, we cultivate a sense of empathy, patience, and wisdom that enhances both personal and communal well-being. Ultimately, finding strength in God's presence is a lifelong practice that shapes every aspect of our being. It is not a one-time experience, but a daily commitment to acknowledge, embrace, and draw from a power that is constant and unwavering. Through the words of Psalm 4:6, we are reminded that God is a refuge in every circumstance, a source of peace amidst chaos, and a wellspring of courage and perseverance. By centering our lives on this truth, we develop an inner strength that sustains us through trials, guides us in uncertainty, and empowers us to live purposefully and fully. Every day becomes an opportunity to tap into this divine reservoir, to grow in faith and confidence, and to transform challenges into triumphs. In finding strength in God's presence, we discover not only resilience and protection, but also the profound peace and assurance that come from knowing we are never truly alone. Life often feels overwhelming. There are days when problems rise like strong waves, responsibilities pile up, and uncertainty surrounds us from every direction. In these moments, many people feel anxious, restless, or discouraged. Yet one of the most powerful lessons we can learn from morning prayer and the message of Psalm 46 is the ability to remain calm, even when everything around us seems chaotic. True strength is not only about fighting through difficulties, but also about maintaining peace within our hearts while facing them. When we learn to embrace calm amidst chaos, we develop a mindset that allows us to think clearly, act wisely, and trust that we are protected and guided through every challenge. Psalm 46 paints a powerful picture of a world that seems to be falling apart. It speaks of mountains shaking, waters roaring, and the earth trembling. These images symbolize the storms we all face in life. Sometimes these storms appear in the form of financial problems, family struggles, health concerns, or emotional stress. At other times they appear as uncertainty about the future, fear of failure, or disappointment from past experiences. These situations can easily disturb our peace if we allow them to control our thoughts. However, the message behind the scripture reminds us that even when the world around us becomes unstable, there is a place of peace that remains untouched. That place is found in trusting God and recognizing His presence in our lives. When people face chaos without inner calm, their minds become clouded by fear and confusion. Decisions made in panic often lead to regret or additional problems. But when we cultivate calmness through faith and reflection, we gain the ability to pause, breathe, and approach situations with wisdom. Morning prayer plays a powerful role in developing this calmness. When we begin the day by reflecting on God's strength and protection, we prepare our minds to face challenges with stability instead of fear. This daily practice trains our hearts and minds to respond to difficulties with patience and faith rather than anxiety. Calmness does not mean that problems disappear or that we ignore reality. Instead, it means that we choose not to allow external circumstances to control our inner peace. Many successful and spiritually strong individuals have learned this important lesson. They understand that storms are part of life, but they also understand that peace can exist even in the middle of those storms. Psalm 46 reminds us that there is a river whose streams make glad the city of God. This beautiful image represents peace flowing continuously, even when everything else seems uncertain. It teaches us that while chaos may exist outside, there can still be tranquility inside our hearts. One of the greatest benefits of embracing calm amidst chaos is the clarity it brings to our thinking. When the mind is calm, it becomes easier to analyze situations, find solutions, and make wise decisions. Stress and panic often cause people to overlook simple answers or react emotionally rather than thoughtfully. However, when we pause and remember the promise that God is our refuge and strength, we create space for wisdom and understanding. This calm state of mind allows us to listen more carefully, think more clearly, and act more effectively. Faith also helps us realize that not every situation requires immediate control or resolution. Sometimes life unfolds in ways we cannot predict or manage. In those moments, trusting God's plan provides comfort and reassurance. Instead of exhausting ourselves by trying to control everything, we learn to focus on what we can do while placing the rest in God's hands. This balance between effort and faith creates emotional stability and prevents unnecessary stress. Another important aspect of remaining calm in difficult situations is emotional strength. Life brings moments that challenge our patience, relationships, and confidence. When someone criticizes us, when plans fail, or when unexpected problems arise, our emotions can easily react with anger, frustration, or fear. But through prayer and reflection, we develop the ability to respond differently. Instead of reacting immediately, we pause and remember that God is present with us in that moment. This awareness creates a powerful shift in perspective. Rather than feeling overwhelmed, we begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth, learning, and deeper faith. Calmness also strengthens our relationships with others. When people are surrounded by chaos, they often seek someone who brings peace and reassurance. A person who remains calm during stressful situations naturally becomes a source of comfort and guidance for others. Friends, family members, and colleagues feel safer when they know someone is able to think clearly and respond patiently. By developing this quality through faith and prayer, we not only help ourselves, but also become a positive influence in the lives of those around us. Morning prayer with the message of Psalm 46 reminds us that peace is not something we must search for in the outside world. It is something that grows within us when we trust in God's presence. Each morning offers a new opportunity to renew this trust and strengthen our inner calm. When we spend even a few quiet moments reflecting on God's protection and guidance, we create a foundation of peace that supports us throughout the day. Over time, this practice changes the way we view challenges. Problems that once seemed overwhelming begin to feel manageable. Fear begins to lose its power, and confidence begins to grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we begin asking, "What can I learn from this situation?" This shift in thinking transforms chaos into a teacher rather than an enemy. The world will always contain uncertainty, change, and unexpected events. But Psalm 46 reminds us that there is a deeper truth beyond these temporary storms. God's presence remains constant, steady, and reliable. When we anchor our hearts in this truth, we discover that peace does not depend on perfect circumstances. It depends on faith, trust, and the willingness to remain calm even when life becomes difficult. By embracing calm amidst chaos, we strengthen our minds, deepen our faith, and prepare ourselves to face life with courage and wisdom. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to practice patience. Every storm becomes a reminder of God's protection, and every new morning becomes a chance to renew our peace. Through prayer, reflection, and trust, we learn that no matter how turbulent the world may appear, there is always a place of calm within us, where faith stands strong and unshaken. Faith has always been a powerful force that gives people courage, direction, and confidence in their lives. One of the most comforting ideas found in morning prayer and in the message of Psalm 46 is the belief that faith provides protection. Protection through faith does not always mean that life will be free from problems or hardships. Instead, it means that when difficulties appear, we are not facing them alone. Faith builds a shield around our hearts and minds, helping us remain strong, hopeful, and focused even when circumstances become challenging. When a person truly believes that God is their refuge and strength, fear begins to lose its control and confidence begins to grow. Every person faces different kinds of struggles throughout life. Some battles are physical, some are emotional, and others are spiritual or mental. People may experience stress, worry about the future, conflict with others, or moments of deep uncertainty. In these situations, the mind can easily become overwhelmed with negative thoughts. Fear can grow quickly when people feel unprotected or unsupported. However, faith acts like a powerful barrier against these fears. When someone believes deeply that God is watching over them, guiding them, and protecting them, their mindset changes. They no longer feel alone in the battle. Instead, they feel supported by a higher power that provides strength and wisdom in every moment. Psalm 46 teaches that God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in times of trouble. This message reminds us that protection through faith is constant and reliable. Just as a strong shelter protects people during a storm, faith provides safety during difficult times in life. The storms of life may include disappointment, failure, criticism, or unexpected problems. Yet, when people turn to prayer and trust in God's protection, they gain emotional stability and courage. The problems may still exist, but the fear surrounding them becomes smaller because faith fills the heart with hope and reassurance. Protection through faith also strengthens our thoughts. Many challenges in life begin in the mind. Negative thinking can create stress, anxiety, and discouragement. When people focus only on their problems, they often feel trapped by them. But faith changes the direction of our thoughts. It encourages us to look beyond the problem and remember that there is a greater plan and purpose for our lives. Through prayer and reflection, people learn to replace fear with trust and doubt with belief. This shift in thinking becomes a powerful form of protection because it prevents negative emotions from controlling our actions and decisions. Another important aspect of faith is the sense of security it brings to our daily lives. When individuals believe that God is guiding their steps, they feel more confident about moving forward, even when the path is uncertain. Faith allows people to take risks, pursue dreams, and face challenges with courage. Without faith, many people hesitate because they fear failure or rejection. But when faith becomes the foundation of a person's life, they understand that every experience, whether good or difficult, has a purpose. This understanding creates a deep sense of peace and security that protects the mind from constant worry and doubt. Morning prayer plays a very important role in strengthening this protective faith. The quiet moments at the beginning of the day provide an opportunity to connect with God and seek guidance before the day's challenges begin. When people start their morning by praying, reflecting, or reading encouraging words like Psalm 46, they prepare their hearts and minds for whatever lies ahead. This daily habit builds spiritual strength over time. Just as the body becomes stronger through regular exercise, faith becomes stronger through regular prayer and reflection. Each morning becomes a moment to renew trust in God's protection and to remind ourselves that we are never facing the day alone. Faith also protects our relationships with others. When people rely on faith, they often develop qualities such as patience, kindness, forgiveness, and understanding. These qualities act as a shield against conflict and negativity. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, a person guided by faith learns to pause, reflect, and respond with wisdom. This calm and thoughtful response can prevent many unnecessary arguments and misunderstandings. In this way, faith protects not only our inner peace, but also the harmony within our families, friendships, and communities. Another powerful effect of faith is the courage it gives during uncertain times. Life does not always follow the plans we expect. Sometimes doors close unexpectedly, opportunities disappear, or situations change without warning. These moments can feel frightening because they force us into the unknown. Yet faith teaches us that even when we cannot see the full path ahead, God is still guiding us. This belief creates a sense of courage that allows us to continue moving forward. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, we trust that protection and guidance are present even in unfamiliar situations. Protection through faith also encourages gratitude. When people recognize that God is watching over them, they begin to appreciate the blessings that surround them each day. Gratitude strengthens faith because it reminds us of the many times we have been helped, guided, or protected in the past. When we look back and see how challenges were overcome, we gain confidence that future difficulties can also be handled with God's support. This reflection builds a powerful cycle of trust and appreciation that deepens our spiritual strength. Over time, faith becomes more than just a belief, it becomes a way of living. People who rely on faith develop a steady sense of confidence that cannot easily be shaken by temporary problems. They understand that life will always include challenges, but they also understand that they are never facing those challenges without help. The message of Psalm 46 reminds us that God's protection is not limited to certain moments. It is available every day, in every situation, and for every person who seeks it. When we embrace faith as our shield, we begin to experience life differently. Fear loses its power, hope grows stronger, and peace fills our hearts even during uncertain times. Morning prayer becomes a daily reminder that we are supported, guided, and protected. This spiritual protection strengthens our minds, uplifts our spirits, and prepares us to face the world with courage and confidence. Through faith, we discover that true protection is not only about avoiding problems, but about having the strength to overcome them. It is the assurance that no matter what storms may appear in life, there is always a refuge available. That refuge is found in trusting God, believing in His guidance, and allowing faith to guard our hearts and minds every single day.